right, this is the Illini Basketball Podcast, episode number 108. They play NCAA Tournament basketball on Friday, so I think we should turn the page fairly quickly on the Indiana game. We'll talk about it. It happened last Friday. You were in attendance. I was quite frustrated, as you can see on my Twitter video on the podcast account. After frustrating loss, but I think there's a lot to learn from this game, but I think there's a lot to burn from this game, I would say. So
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't fun to watch. Like you said, I was there. It was disappointing to drive to Indy and only get to see him play one game. But they had a chance, missed free throws, missed layups and bunnies. Gonna lead to losses usually. You can't let teams stick around with you, or I guess they were letting Illinois stick around. Indiana was letting Illinois stick around with them. Whatever it was, it wasn't good. It's not what you want. Supposedly no team has ever won the national title after losing the first game of their conference tournament. So we'll see if Illinois can change that. I mean, are we talking title hopes yet or not?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, 2-point loss. Player of the game. Let's just do it. I picked Coleman Hawkins. I think it's the best game he's played all year, especially against top caliber, players, not UTRGV or anybody like that. 18 points. He played 32 minutes. Of course, a lot of that had to do with Grandison still being out. He was an amazing 4 for 7 from 3. I hope he heard me yell no every time he put it up from 3 from my stands in the upper decks. But he made a lot of them. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and only 1 turnover for him. That 1 turnover was critical late game. Curbello's also 1 turnover was critical late game. And then, of course, Frazier had 3, threw that 1 out of bounds, a little miscommunication. But who's your player of the game?
Yeah, I think it came down to free throws for me. Kofi was 7 for 8 from the free throw line. The rest of the team, which was pretty much by the rest of the team, I pretty much mean Curbello and Hawkins at the free throw line. They were atrocious. But Kofi, 23 and 10, 2 blocks. I don't think there was much he could do defensively against TJD. I think TJD was going to get his, but I also think Kofi did kind of like lay on him a lot, like you were saying. Just like getting too close and then letting other things happen around him, which pretty much what you expect from him defensively, but he was really good offensively, made his free throws, made big free throws down the stretch. But I think I picked Hawkins last week, so I'll go against that.
Picked him a lot lately. So
yeah, I've been nice enough to him recently.
So, Kofi had a good game. Defensively, he gave up 21 or so points. Probably didn't give up all those points to TJD. I'm sure Payne and his 7 minutes and 3 fouls gave up some of those, but yeah, TJD's just too quick for him, and TJD was quote unquote feeling himself after the last game, so he was feeling good, and I guess it was just his time to actually have a game against Kofi. So other starters, Plummer. 2 of 12 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3, 6 points, 2 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. I still don't know what happened. I don't know if they said on TV, if the ref said why they didn't reset that shot clock on that play. For some reason, who's that? Who's the tall white kid from Indiana? Galloway.
Trey Galloway, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Galloway maybe. Stole the ball at half court, went all the way down, and then just lost it out of bounds. Apparently that wasn't a change of possession in the ref's eyes. Illinois would look just discombobbled coming down. Plummer had a wide open 3, decided not to take it. I don't know if he was, if he's gun shy right now, or he was gun shy because he wasn't shooting that great, but that's a shot you need Plummer to take. You need him to let it rip all through the tournament. As far as Illinois goes, he's got to keep letting it rip. I'd rather him go 2 for 12 from 3 than pass up open looks because he's not feeling it. He ended up passing off to Curbello, and I don't even know if Curbello got a shot off. So Steve says, to be honest, I am good with the loss, just coming off a high winning just coming off a high winning the conference like Wisconsin against Nebraska. Hawkins' best game. Yeah, agreed. As far as the other guys, DeMonte, 20 minutes. DeMonte's time really down. No points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists.
He's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about him. I think it's just one of those things where Curbelo gives you more. Curbelo, played a lot of minutes, so we'll talk about him in a minute. Trent, 11 points, 4 for 10, 2 of 6 from 3, 6 assists, a block, and then 3 turnovers. Led the team in turnovers. Anybody else that had a turnover only had 1. Illinois as a team had 8. It's just one of those weird plays where, he thought Coleman was going somewhere, or I guess staying where he was, because he threw it behind him, if I remember correctly. The game was kind of a blur after my nap at 6 o'clock at night. So,
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. This goes back to something that I said in the middle of the season. In a situation like that, why is the ball not in Curbelo's hands?
Right.
Why is Trent running the point? That's the second time where they've been losing late in the game, and Trent threw it away. And I'm not going to blame him. I think it's both him and Hawkins there, miscommunication. Right. But I don't care what you say about Curbelo, and I know a lot of fans still won't shut the hell up about him. And I know that he's erratic, and I know they went 13-1 without him. I think scheduling is a big part of them going 13-1 without him. Kofi coming back is a big reason they went 13-1 without him. But he's got to have the ball in his hands there. He's the point guard. He should be the point guard when him and Trent are on the floor. He's like he has little to no offensive value if he doesn't have the ball in his hands when he's on the floor.
So, 100%. I mean, that's his MO, getting to the lane, creating more spacing for the guys that can shoot well to shoot it. And like I said, Curbelo played 28 minutes. He had 5 points. His one basket was a beautiful blob play. I think they threw it to Coleman, and Curbelo just had a little head fake, went to the basket. Great play. Where he hurt Illinois, and this is where the only place I think he hurt Illinois was the 3 for 7 from the free throw line. He makes 6 or 7. Illinois, is in a lot better position. He had 10 rebounds, which for his size is unreal. 4 assists, a steal, a block, and 1 turnover. And these people, I know that, people are putting, I support Curbelo and stuff like that. And there's people that are ripping on people that are doing that because, he doesn't need support or whatever it is. And this one guy, I was just reading it, and that's the only reason why I'm bringing it up, is that he said that Curbelo needs to value the ball more. I mean, he had 1 turnover in 28 minutes. Like, it's not like and his 1 turnover, I believe, was a pass that got tipped. If I remember right, it was kind of later in the game. I think Hawkins did it, and then Curbelo did it right after him. So I hope that Illinois fans calm down. I would hate to see Curbelo transfer somewhere, and I don't know what's going on with him mentally. I don't know what's up with him. He posts stuff on Instagram all the time about it. But he is a huge, huge part of Illinois being successful. And it's not only with, his ball handling skills. He made that one pass to Coleman that nobody in Division I can make. That pass was unreal. And Coleman, of course, couldn't finish it. And then I think he probably missed both his free throws. I don't remember exactly, but I have this awful feeling that he's going to go back home. I mean, he's going to go out, out east somewhere and, be closer to family or whatever. But Brad, I know Brad loves him. After the game, he said, quote, "I feel great about him. He's outstanding defensively. He graded out better than anyone else versus Indiana. I love the kid. I appreciate his competitiveness and his desire to win. He's unparalleled in that area." And then again, he talked about his rebounding and the way he gets to the paint and moving in transition. Illinois is not a transition basketball team unless Curbelo's in the game. And when he got that rebound and he took off, I mean, nobody else on Illinois was going to get to the hoop like that, like he did. Curbelo probably makes that 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10. It just came up a little short. And as he's walking off the court, he just keeps going over in his head, like, you know, put a little bit more on it or whatever. But I just hope that all Illinois negativity doesn't rub him, you know, off on Illinois.
Yeah,
so
I think that you probably have to do this as well. To smoke some weed and shut up. My God.
Absolutely. Steve says if we get to the Final Four, it will be because Curbelo takes us there. I think that's a big part of it. You know, Plummer shooting well is going to be a big part of it, and you know, Kofi's matchups. So
don't be afraid to shoot the ball if you're Alfonso Plummer.
Yeah,
also, don't dribble into a 2 when you're wide open from 3.
Yes,
that was so annoying.
Oh man!
And the thing that sucks about this is right when the game starts, Plummer comes down, drills a 3.
Yep.
Trent comes down, drills a 3. It's like, okay,
yeah,
we're gonna roll.
Just gonna go.
Yep. And the other thing is, this is out of the 3 games that Indiana played in the Big Ten tournament, I think they played the worst in this game.
Probably, yeah.
It's very annoying.
Yeah.
I think they played the best against Iowa.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, you look at Indiana's numbers. You know, Trace, of course, had a great game, 9 of 13, 21 points. Xavier Johnson, I mean, they kept him quiet, 5 for 15 from the field.
Yeah.
You know, Race Thompson hitting 2 threes is huge for them. Guy that shoots 25% for his career from 3. But I guess, you know, we got Hawkins that shoots about that, and he made 4 of 7. So, but Indiana shot 47%, while Illinois shot 36%. So, it's just those things that you got to clean up and you know, play competitively all the time. And you know, so the other guys, Payne, like I said, 7 minutes, 1 rebound, 1 block, 3 fouls. Goody played 4 minutes, missed a 3, had a foul. Melendez played 4 minutes, missed both his shots, had a steal. So he's relying heavily on the starting 5 and Curbelo, and I think we'll probably see that, you know, in the tournament a lot more, where it's, you know, Grandison, Curbelo, and the starting 5 or whatever they do. If Grandison's is back, they're still saying he's day-to-day. Brad said that he was progressing yesterday. So it's just one of those games where, you know, they just didn't look good, besides a couple guys. So hopefully they'll get it figured out. I mean, now they have time off. And Underwood said after the game, he said, quote, "We came here to win it. We didn't, but it's not the end of the world. It will be refreshing to get a couple days away. I'm tired of this league right now." And then he also said that they were exhausted last year after winning it. So the 3 extra days rest, I mean, of course, you're going to put that spin on it as a coach, right? But hopefully, you know, they could have some more looser practices once they got back and get things going. So you don't win, you move on, and you get ready for the NCAA tournament. So,
yep. You could take his "I'm tired of this league right now" out of context if you wanted to. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you can. So
yeah, this is I mean, you know, it's probably not the end of the world that they lost this game.
Right.
I think there's a spin on it to where you could say, well, most teams that win their conference tournament don't go very far in the tournament more times than not. I would give an example of that with Illinois last year. I would also give an example of that in other years. I mean, you look at – I think a lot of times the Big Ten tournament champion does make some kind of a run. I think Michigan State lost early 1 year after winning it, but Michigan, a couple times they won it, they made a run after. But I think I don't really think the two things correlate that much. But getting these days off are probably, you know, ideal.
Yeah. Nick asked if there are any injuries to Houston and Arizona.
No comment on this because we need to worry about Chattanooga.
Yeah.
But Marcus Sasser, Tremont Mark, both out for Houston. They've been out most of the year. Yeah, and I'm assuming Kirk Kreese is going to play. So I don't know how effective he would be when he plays. But, you know.
Yeah, Kirk Kreese is ankle looks bad.
It's playable. He'll play.
Real bad. So, yeah. But, yeah, Chattanooga's what we're worried about. Before we get to the Chattanooga game, today announced Kofi Coburn makes the AP first-team All-American. An interesting tidbit I saw on Twitter, Illinois only has 2 first-team All-Americans, and Brad Underwood has coached them both. So, he also made the NABC first-team All-District. Whatever that is, National Association of Basketball Coaches, I believe.
How the hell have they only had 2 first-team All-Americans?
I don't know.
Nobody from 405? Were they like second team, third
D
team?
Brown was second team, Luther Head was second team, and Darren Williams was third team. I looked it up to double check it because you
go 37-2 and you can't even get a first team All-American.
Right. Okay. You never trust anything you see on Twitter.
Right. Was there a better point guard in the country in 2005 than D Brown? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chris Paul. What happened when they went head to head?
Yeah.
Illinois absolutely annihilated that Wake Forest team.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Embarrassed them. I would argue that Wake Forest should just quit in the season after that game.
Let's see who made it. Andrew Bogut from Utah.
The big man, yes.
Chris Paul from Wake Forest. J.J. Redick from Duke. Wayne Simeon from Kansas. And Hakeem Warwick from Syracuse. So
that's ridiculous. Okay. I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
Yep. So, yeah. Good for them. So, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, let's Ken Palm, Chris Paul at a 122 rating on offense. D Brown at a 125. Enough said.
Mm-hmm.
D Brown was on the number 2 team in the country that should have been number 1 and would have won it all if North Carolina didn't pay the refs. 37-2. Come on. When they went head to head, Illinois won 91-73. Enough said. Yeah. So that's ridiculous. And the people voting for that thought they could get away with it, and I'm not going to allow it.
I hope you're tweeting about it right now.
Maybe I should. And finally, real quick, Chris Paul went 4 for 11 with 10 points in that game. Okay. D Brown had 16, 7, and 6. So nice try, guys. Really nice try. But I don't want to go too much in on Chris Paul. He's my guy, right? So I can't get after him too much. But all right, Illinois, Chattanooga, 4 versus 13. Not the worst case 13 to play, I think, on paper, but not a good one to want to play. I mean, we're going to get a difficult one regardless. I think you look at the other 13s, Vermont, Akron. Akron probably would have been the most ideal, the storyline.
I just can't believe they didn't just set that up.
And Illinois it
really surprises me.
Akron is the easiest 13. I would say Vermont, South Dakota State are kind of tied, and then I would say Chattanooga close behind them.
Yeah.
And Akron really benefited from what happened to Kent State, and I don't think Akron has any chance against UCLA. But I've seen other things happen in a more surprising fashion. But Chattanooga 5:30 or 5:50 p.m. Central Standard Time on TNT. Kevin Harlan, Dan Bonner, Reggie Miller on the call. Pittsburgh is the site.
I think Reggie Miller's going to be like, was it Grant Hill that kept calling Michigan State Michigan or something?
I'm not familiar.
Terrible. I know you don't listen to him, but that's what
that
was the word on the streets.
Harlan's the best of the best, though. I think out of all the college basketball play-by-play guys, I would take him over anybody. Jim Nantz right behind him. But I think the best color commentator by far is Bill Raftery. So, I mean, there's no doubt. And then Ian Eagle, also very good. But Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where they say the words like dine and tine and, that type of stuff. So hopefully they're in attendance.
What they say? All right.
Oh, yeah. D-A-H-N instead of down. T-A-H-N instead of town.
Right.
So going down to Pittsburgh, and they're going to play I'm assuming Champaign is further away than wherever the hell Chattanooga is, Tennessee.
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
I don't know. Well, I've been to Pittsburgh once. It's like 10 hours. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. It might be close.
I'll look it up. Go ahead.
I don't know if Pittsburgh's in the South, but that's where we're at. Anywho. So they interviewed the team after the selection.
Everybody looked thrilled, by the way.
Here we go. Yeah. Trent said, quote, "We still have a bad taste in our mouth from last year. Seeds don't matter. We just got to play our best every night. He also said, you just have to be the better team that night. Last year, we weren't ready for that. Much more focused on each game and advancing. So they asked Coleman Hawkins about Seth Davis immediately picking Chattanooga to go to the Sweet 16.
Seth Davis is a loser. Give me a break.
Hawkins said, quote, I know a lot of people that will be betting against us and will always be people that don't believe in us. We're not focused on that and taking one game at a time and hopefully proving the doubters wrong.
They have less of a target on their back than this year, so that's good.
Yeah.
Still a target on the back.
Yeah. And then Brad said, quote, I've never felt better about my team. A lot of positives can come from getting a couple days rest, getting your mind right. And he also said that we've got to just go have fun. The NCAA tournament happens so fast. We're going to let it fly. We're going to compete. We're going to execute. And we're going to have fun. So, they seem ready. He said,
okay.
Yeah. So, so Chattanooga, they got some guys. DeSosa, as long as he doesn't have a chair in his hand, I think Kofi can handle him. Their best scorer is Malachi Smith. I was looking at the all district teams or whatever. He made whatever district they're in. He's made it the last 2 years, but he's averaging 20 points a game. The good thing about that is we got a little guy named Trent Frazier that can play really good defense against guards. So hopefully Trent can shut him down. David John Baptiste
hit the big three to beat Furman.
14, in overtime, correct?
Yep.
So
Furman was 100% from the field in overtime and lost the game against Chattanooga.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. So he's averaging 14.5, and then of course DeSosa, he's averaging 11.1. DeSosa is kind of, I guess not their biggest guy, but he's 6'9". Again, he played at Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Is he the one that had to sit out a year because of
he's had a lot of issues? Yeah,
some fraudulent actions by Bill Self.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's one that had that, but he has had a lot of issues. That's pretty much why he's here now. I like the size matchup. I think you put Trent against Malachi Smith. I think you put, even though he's a good scorer, I think you got to put David Jean Baptiste against Plummer. But that's going to be a lot of Curbelo too, I would assume. You probably throw Caldwell up against DeMonte, and then Banks against Hawkins or Grandison. But I'm assuming Hawkins is absolutely going to start.
Yeah, I think Hawkins is going to start.
Kofi versus DeSouza, and then they also have guys off the bench. Avery Diggs, big body. Josh Illini, another like stretching the floor a little bit, stretch 3, stretch 4, whichever one. But they got size off the bench. It's a good team. Their metrics are pretty good for a SoCon team. They're 72nd on KenPom overall. They've been within the top 100 since December 30th. They've lost 4 games since December 30th. They beat Citadel by 5, so they struggled with them a little bit in their conference tournament. They beat Wofford by 23, and then they beat, obviously, Furman on the buzzer beater by 1. Their offense is 58th in the country. Their defense is 95th. They're not that 302nd in tempo. They'll slow the game down. So if Curbelo comes in, need a little spark, maybe start to get out and transition, and I don't think that they'll have much of an answer for that. But, yeah, it's an interesting matchup. I feel like I don't want to have to regret saying this, but I think out of Vermont, South Dakota State, and Chattanooga, this is who I would want to play. Obviously, I'd rather play Akron than any of the 4, but I'm just glad they're not playing South Dakota State or Vermont.
Yeah.
But Chattanooga's good. 27-7. SoCon's a solid conference. 2 interesting things is that in December, Chattanooga lost to both Belmont and Murray State. So 2 losses to OVC teams. They also lost to Charleston, who's a Colonial Athletic team as well. Those are non-conference losses. In conference, they lost to Western Carolina, who's bad. They lost to Samford, UNC Greensboro, and VMI. So
yeah.
So bad.
Maybe the worst thing is that Joe Lenardi is picking Illinois. So.
That's not ideal. He's got him going to the Elite 8, right? Beating Arizona, then losing to Tennessee, I think.
Yeah. So,
one game at a time, boys. One game at a time.
That's right, and that's what they got to focus on. Come out and play. I hope that Brad, when he says we're going to let it fly, means that the boys are gonna shoot when they're open. I feel like they have been passing up on a lot of open shots lately.
Too much unselfishness.
Yeah, trying to
And
make
this
passes.
is a new court, depth perception.
Yeah,
Could be a problem.
yeah.
First game in Indy, what happened?
They're not playing early though. They're not playing early.
That's good.
That's huge. Getting up at 8:00 Illinois time to go to a basketball game is not ideal, but I did it. So
I mean, they've won some big early games this year. Thank you for that. They've won some big early games this year. Michigan State, 11 a.m. on the road. I don't know. How nervous are we right now about this game? Because I think the trajectory of the program could seriously spiral out of control.
I think the nervousness only comes from we've seen Illinois at their best and what they can do, and we've seen them against Indiana and Maryland and letting the game go against Ohio State. And I'm pretty sure that Indiana game, they had a 7-minute drought without a basket. I mean, that's kind of their MO. And when they're doing that, just give the ball to Kofi. Let him shoot it and rebound it 7 times down there. I don't care. Give him the ball. I hate to say that Kofi is going to be his foul trouble, or if he gets in foul trouble, is going to be the biggest factor for Illinois during the NCAA tournament, because Omar Payne isn't it, and behind him you got BBV, who maybe.
The good thing is I don't see any huge threat big men in this region that like you're that worried about if Kofi's not in there. Like, I mean, Coloco's good player, very good defensively for Arizona if they get there. I don't think Houston really has a big man that you're too worried about. I don't think Tennessee pretty much has Fulkerson and Plavsic to rebound. And then Villanova's a smaller team. So I think they got in a good region in terms of matchups for Kofi.
Yeah.
Especially on the defensive end. Like, there's not a Trace Jackson Davis. Like, DeSouza is 6'9", but I don't think he's much of an offensive.
More of a pounder.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be scoring a lot.
Yeah, I think he's only averaging 11 in the SoCon. So
yeah,
I don't know. So
this is do you think there's more pressure to make a run this year than last year? Because I don't know if there is. Because last year,
I don't think so.
Io's last year. But region-wise, I think
they've been there too. I mean, they've have the mindset of, oh, it really is. You come out and you play like crap and you're gone. So I think that's going to play into it. Kofi's looking to make a name for himself. I think Brad said something like legends are born in March or something, and Kofi strives off that. So I think you're going to get really good Kofi, and you just need guys around him to just be enough to help him.
Yeah, so. And Frazier knows that this is obviously
the last ride.
Last ride. Got to play well.
Yeah.
I think that the other thing for this team would be, I think they got matched up in the second best possible region, because the West, I don't want any part of UConn.
Yeah.
The Midwest, it's an easy region, but I don't want to play Iowa again. And then I think the East would have been the easiest because you'd have St. Mary's. But this region's not too bad.
Steve says, I feel a lot better about the team path and much better than last year. We're going to play well this year. The thing about that is, like, Houston is a very high net ranking team, right? So technically, I mean,
they're fourth on KenPom.
By statistics points, right? KenPom, whatever. They should be a better seed than a 5 seed. Am I worried about Houston? Probably not as much as Chattanooga. It's funny how Illinois, and maybe this is like it with every team. I just notice it more with Illinois. But of course, playing Chattanooga, I don't remember it, but 97. Number 14 Chattanooga beat number 6 Illinois in the tournament. Playing Houston with Kelvin Sampson, which we all know the Indiana history and all that crap. And then, of course, Arizona, which may be one of the best, NCAA tournament games ever.
Now, just to check, if
Illinois,
Arizona
Arizona.
ended up winning that game, would you still say that?
Yeah, no, because the comeback would have happened.
But what if like Illinois? What if that 3 went in at the very end? Whenever Illinois had like the 1 or 2 point lead,
I'd probably say that. Sure.
All right. I mean, why couldn't the committee give us John Gross in round 1? Come on.
I know. So
That's
they give us
embarrassing.
miserable history, except I guess Arizona was good history. But
A chance to rewrite it.
yeah. So predictions? Are we there yet?
I think we go with that. I think that we go with the predictions, and I'm surprised at yours. Kind of.
Why?
I thought you would pick them to win by more than I did.
Nope. I don't think that this game is going to be like worrisome close. I think they'll be ahead most of the game. Hopefully not fighting from behind. But yeah, Illinois 75, Chattanooga 67. I think the line opened at 7.5. It may have moved to 8.5 or
now.
Whatever,
we should look elsewhere at other 4-13 spreads, because I know Providence is a 2-point favorite against South Dakota State, which is an incredibly low number. It's making me think Providence might end up winning, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Other 4 versus 13s, you have Akron and UCLA. The line on that game is something that I'm going to find momentarily. Let's see. Where the hell is this game? Okay. UCLA minus 14. So Akron is not good, dude.
Yeah.
We got hosed not getting matched up with them. And then Arkansas, Vermont is Arkansas minus 5. So Illinois second or third lowest line. It goes Providence minus 2, Arkansas minus 5, Illinois minus 7.5, UCLA minus 14.5. So what do you think the largest spread in the tournament is right now, other than Gonzaga?
It's got to be like
I guess you can't have a spread on Arizona.
Say Arizona, yeah. Probably the Baylor game at 19.
21.5.
21.5.
Gonzaga 23.5.
Gonzaga opened at like 26.5. Pretty sure.
Purdue minus 15.5 against Yale. What do you think the Michigan-Colorado State spread is?
Michigan is a favorite.
I believe they are. I haven't found it yet, though. Damn it. Why don't they line these up in order? What are we doing, FanDuel?
Steve, you always seem to have a prediction if you're still out there. Throw it in
Michigan minus 2.5.
Michigan's minus 2.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got Colorado State stuck in Colorado in a snowstorm.
Oh, they're on the way, right? They're there, right? Yeah.
It's just
still ridiculous, yeah.
Just need to tweet out about it. So.
And why does Colorado State's coach have like a hockey coach name? Nico Medved? I mean, what the hell is going on there?
Yeah.
What do you think the Murray State San Francisco spread is?
Steve says Illinois 12+.
Murray State San Francisco, go.
Murray State minus 2.
1. All right, one more. We're doing one more. We'll do one more here.
Really getting this is the wrong podcast.
Yeah, well, people are all into March, though. It is what it is. Virginia Tech, Texas.
Texas minus 3.
1. One more. Iowa State, LSU. The most unpredictable game is what I said.
LSU minus 3.
4. Damn it. All right. You got any plays tonight? You like any plays for the 2 games tonight? I am wearing Wyoming colors underneath.
What's the spreads on the games tonight?
Texas Southern minus 3.5. I do like Corpus Christi, even though Texas Southern, I know Short Shorts is gone.
Yeah.
I'm still a fan, though. And Johnny Jones, if that's his name, who's at LSU, he's done a great job there. And then it's Indiana minus 4.
I'd take Wyoming.
What do you think about the under 130?
We'll see an Indiana letdown coming up.
What do you
Everybody's
think about
them winning this and then winning another one? I'm seeing letdown.
Under 132.5, Indiana, Wyoming. What do you think about that? That feels like the under is going to hit.
Yeah.
I could see like a 63, 61 game, 124.
It'll be close, though.
All right, well, let's finish this off by talking about Brad Underwood, listed as a candidate for the LSU job. Per the CBS Sports article, how worried are we about this? I feel like we should talk about the quote at the bottom here as well.
On a scale of 1 to 10, my worriness, 3.5.
I'll go 4.5, but I'll go 7.5 if they lose on Friday.
Okay. All right. So why do you think he would leave because they lose?
Just because I think that it makes it easier.
Has Brad Underwood ever gotten past the round of 32?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, so.
But you know what SEC schools look at? You know what SEC schools look at? Recruiting.
Yeah.
What has Brad Underwood done? Recruited. So I'm
a bit
worried about that.
LSU's a better job than Illinois?
I don't think so, but I also think that they would be willing to pay a lot.
So are you more worried about LSU than K-State?
Yeah. K-State's a joke. Like they're a little ant on the ground. I mean, come on, please. I don't give a shit that he went there at all. Like that's ridiculous.
True.
But he did. Here's a quote which does make you think. Just say you're not going to leave, dude. If you're not going to leave.
Correct.
He said he loves Illinois. We have the best fans. He has the best boss. He wants to win championships here.
He said that they've been winning championships there.
I don't know about that. I'm not worried about that.
The Big Ten and the Big Ten.
Yeah, we get it. Okay.
Back to back.
I'm not worried about that. And then he should have put comma, I'm not leaving. Just say that. Like, why won't you just say that?
Yeah, he said you can't control what other people say.
I think he'll say, but
a lot of people are reading this as a power move to get a pay raise. I mean, he literally said
like 7 extensions.
He said, "I love Whitman," So I don't know. If he does leave, who does he take from Illinois with him? And I don't think he's going to LSU because he doesn't want to deal with Adam Miller again.
I think Adam Miller will leave LSU.
Steve said Underwood is staying at Illinois.
I agree, but I'm also a little bit worried.
It's going to be Indiana by 15 plus. So I don't know if we take Steve.
Here's the other thing, though. Steve's had a good track record this season.
I know.
Here's the other thing. Does he really want to go to the SEC where there's already like an absolute powerhouse? Like there's no real powerhouse in the Big Ten right now.
No.
He doesn't want to go out to
Illinois is one of the powerhouses in the Big Ten right now.
Auburn is clearly not going to get – I mean, Auburn's going to be good for a while. Yeah. I think that Arkansas and Alabama are going to be good for a while. So I don't – I think it's going to be – if he left for LSU, it would be for the money, and it would be a lot harder to win there than it is here. So
I think Illinois can pay him just fine. So I don't see him leaving. I don't know. I think it just depends on team chemistry maybe after the tournament too.
Okay, let's just get the Wichita Eagle BS out of the way. Never heard of that thing until today. Here's what their article says. One coach that K-State is most definitely interested in is Brad Underwood. He's the dream candidate for most fans. They have fans there, really? Okay. Oh yeah, fans that treat. I'm sure Brad Underwood loved it when they treat Bruce Weber like absolute dog ass on the way out. Yeah. Unfortunately, much less known is about his willingness to leave Illinois for the alma mater after signing a contract extension worth $16.7 million in guaranteed money last September. There's a quiet confidence among K-State donors that they can afford to pay Underwood's buyout, which is listed at $7 million before his most recent extension. But it would be a challenge to the athletic department to match the $4.1 million he currently earns in yearly compensation and continue to pay him top dollar year after year in Manhattan. It's not the good Manhattan; it's Manhattan, Kansas.
Yeah, he made like $215,000 just in bonuses this year. So
yeah, he's getting treated pretty well here. All right.
I would say so.
ESPN article, I think Borzello is the one who wrote that, said K-State poaching Underwood from Illinois is, quote, unlikely. I'm not worried about K-State at all. But as we end this, hypothetically, where would Illinois go if Underwood left?
Oh, man, I don't know.
You know where I'd
go?
Got
money to throw at anybody, right? So,
yeah.
But would anybody leave to come to Illinois? That's the question.
I don't think that I would want to go the mid-major route.
I don't either.
But I do love Todd Golden, but I wouldn't go that route. But that's a young coach that could really energize the program. But then I think they could definitely get a guy I mean, they got Underwood from the Big 12. I think they could get a guy from another power conference if they wanted to.
Sure.
I don't know who that would be. Maybe they steal a Big Ten coach like Georgia did with Florida, which that was just Mike White doing what Shaka Smart did.
Yeah.
Get me out of here. What's the best job I can get because I'm going to get fired?
Yeah.
Maybe they
– That's interesting.
I don't know. I hopefully it doesn't happen.
We don't have to worry about it.
We'll be back Saturday night or Sunday or something. I mean, they're going to play Sunday if they win.
Right.
If they lose, things become quite complicated. But if they lose, I'd also like to get a somewhat quick reaction after to really, like last year after they lost, it was like,
sure.
Yeah. So we'll be back at some point later this week. I'll be live tweeting.
March, baby. Let's go.
Hopefully they can get the job done moving along. But you can follow the Twitter at Podcast Line. I'll be tweeting a lot of cuss words on there. Over the next,
Parental discretion is advised.
The next few days. So yeah. All right. March Madness, Illinois, back in the mix, and we'll see you later this week.